Hey, my name's Adarael. I'm playing the Vault Dweller Jason Carter, Snappy Dresser, and Two-Fisted Gunslinger.
Hello, I am Alereg. I'm playing Dr. Carl Hoffman, the Brotherhood of Steel medic.
Hi, I'm Legacy, and I will be playing Chanel, the survivor, joined by my faithful companion, Haley, who will be playing Maisie.
Hi there, I'm Termite, and I'll be playing Iris, the synth, who also happens to be a bit of a marksman. Yeah, nothing serious.
Perfectly fine. Hi, I'm Solomon, and I will be your game master and overseer for this season. When we last left our intrepid survivors, they had run across a very interesting individual by the name of Dr. Testridge, a runaway from the wonderful and oh so enigmatic institute from the East Coast. Dr. Testridge had set off several of his own robotic creations to cause mayhem throughout the Mojave, and also to get himself some extra parts for his own personal gain, where he had hoped to transfer his own consciousness into the body of a Sultron. Without the intervention of two Brotherhood Knights, a Brotherhood Scribe, and our survivors, he would have been very successful and have likely caused a robotic uprising within the Mojave. However, his defeat came at a bit of a twisted cost. After they had put him down and had revived their Brotherhood Scribe friend, Scribe Poitnoy, they found that they were being watched and had a interesting announcement made to them by individuals known as the Think Tank, that there was some manner of terraforming going to begin. And when they left the vault where they had completed the final fight, they saw that it was beginning to snow. It has been 1 year since that fateful fight, and it has been slow going. Not easy for the Mojave, who, with everyone so used to the warmth, to the casual, intense heat, now having everything be cold and snowy and icy, and everything become more brittle with that cold, it's much harder for people to adapt. Some have managed to do it, some have not. Good Springs has, by and large, gone dark. The people of Good Springs having to leave to find more energy and more places where they can hunker down for the snow. Certain smaller settlements on the outcroppings of the Mojave have completely gone silent. And the monorail that would normally take people from the outskirts of the Mojave, from places like Lilly-Belle and Prim to the strip, has been basically destroyed by the brittle weather, and Mr. House's robots, his Securitrons, are not able to so easily weather the intense snowdrifts. Not to mention the large radioactive blizzards that tend to blow through. But our survivors have managed to make a bit of a home for themselves at Chanel's settlement, the settlement of Lilly-Belle, that takes place at what used to be a city that went through a horrible event at the hands of Caesar's Legion. The blood wiped away, people managed to rebuild the town basically from the ground up, and have, with the help of a little bit of technology that they had found, create a place where there can be peace. There can be people able to farm the land and make a bit of a living for themselves. But even that is beginning to wane. The technological marvel, the GEC unit, that had made it so easy for farmers to work around Lilly-Belle, has begun to fail. And without either new parts or a way to end this intense year-long winter, things are going to get even more dire. Food supplies are beginning to run out. Water is less of an issue thanks to a number of purification tablets and purification stations. But there's only so much that they can do. So we will return in, focusing on Chanel, who is driving back from a long trip to Novak, to carrying supplies, hoping to trade for more parts that they could use, that she could use to hopefully outfit more trucks. But unfortunately, the most that she was able to get were parts for more water purification stations and for the various medical facilities that they have. In the cab with her is, of course, Maisie and her companion that she had taken along for this ride. Which of your friends would you have taken along for this ride, Chanel, to sort of act as your coachman?
I think Dr. Hoffman. I would have requested his services. Just because it's always good to have a doctor when you're going on these longer trips. Plus, Maisie really seems to like him for some reason. Isn't that right, girl? Isn't that right? But if he would have liked to have joined me, the help of a medical professional is always better than freezing to death.
Of course. Das Hund is good.
Mm. Yeah. Thanks for coming on this trip with me again, Doc. Sorry it was such a bust. Things are getting harder to find, and I've already used what little resources I've got in order to repair this piece of shit, so. And of course, make sure that this one's fed. Isn't that right, girl? Isn't that right?
I do understand. We do, after all, need our second most intelligent person.
Exactly. Hey, she's smart enough. She's managed to get more food than, well, most people. I mean, she's been getting better at scouting, that's for sure. But
This weather has made things both better and the worst for us, at least. It's less likely that you'll bleed out, but loss of toes, loss of legs. Frostbite is no joke.
it's kind of a miracle that we even managed to find the little bit of warm clothes that we did. Although recently there have been some animals that have taken a little bit kindly to me. You call for one, and sometimes they'll come and sit on my legs just to keep them a little bit warm. Then somebody gets jealous, mostly because she thinks I'm gonna give them food. No, don't worry, you're fine. I know. Let's talk more feed. But it's hard. I can't believe that as many people left the settlement as they did in order to try to find, well, whatever they can. It's, well, at the least, work's been plentiful.
Of course. For both of us, truly.
Yeah. There are some little blessings that come in the, what's that saying that my ma used to always say it all the time? Something about lemons and lemonade and something. I don't know. They were a little bit. They weren't the smartest people, but they.
I think I know the saying. When life gives lemons, you must lick lemonade. The issue is, to make such a thing, you also need sugar. Which Maisie does a good job of providing, I think.
I think so too, isn't that right? Isn't that right? I know. Let's talk more feed. You'd think she's a paid actor or something. Get paid to look all cute like this, isn't that right, girl? Well, at least we're nothing short on a little bit of comfort every now and again.
While you two are talking, I would like you both to please give me a roll of, let's go ahead and call it perception and survival. And as a general reminder, that is 2d20 that you're rolling for, trying to get under the total of your stat and skill.
1 success.
No successes.
Distracted by dog.
Distracted by dog.
Distracted by
Exactly.
dog. You are a bit busy being distracted by Maisie at the moment, given that she's just being really cute and wandering around the cab. Dr. Hoffman, however, you see that you are coming up towards Lilly-Belle again, which is good because you don't want to have your vehicle out for too long for extended periods of time. The Novak is one of the longer trips, and thankfully the hull was worth it, but there's only so much coolant that can be used even when trying to just make these trips. As you are approaching Lilly-Belle, you see that apparently there's been a recent attack. There is the shrapnel and scraps of the new arrivals, those odd robotic scorpions that have begun to wander the Mojave. There are also a few corpses just within the snowdrift. None of the people that you know, no one you recognize, but you can see with the odd masks they have on, they are what have begun to be called lobotomites. Individuals that have no brain, but a weird Tesla coil and radio receiver in their head that controls them, gives them orders, possibly from the think tank, given when they started arriving at the same time as this blizzard.
Lovely. Another attack. I already running out of medical supplies as is. I do not know how long we'll be able to survive.
You think we might be able to get them if we manage to. I got some fun new toys I want to play with. If you're willing to let me throw.
They're already dead, it looks like. Unless you want to try and scrounge bodies for additional parts. Possible food for the animals.
I mean, we gotta take what we can get, right, Doc?
Yeah.
Come on, it'll be fun.
Dissecting corpses is never fun, but alright.
It is when there ain't nothing else to do in this.
I'd much prefer a game of chess to dissecting corpses.
If you're going to hop out and check the bodies, I would like a roll of, again, perception and survival. If you're going to try to get parts from the robotic scorpions, then I will take a roll of intelligence and science instead.
I think I'll go for intelligence and science then on that one.
No, I'll go for perception and survival.
Okay.
Has to be at or below, yes?
At or below, yes.
2 successes then.
Perfection.
2 successes.
All right. First off, Dr. Hoffman, you are just working your way through these scorpions. The technology in them is not as advanced as like the synths that you dealt with last year. They are much closer to like almost more of a modified Protectron, even though the actual body of them is very different, the parts are very similar, and you do actually see many of them are listed as being Robco parts. You find a good bit of parts that could be used for some of the actual robots that you have in town, including the one that's now manning the larger mess hall in town, since a lot of the restaurants have been sort of shut down to accommodate and make it easier for just one place where everyone goes to eat. It's much more communal as opposed to as it was before, where it was a lot of restaurants, a lot of different stores. Now everyone kind of just chips in because there's only so much to go around now. You also do find a good number of energy cells that could be used for energy weapons.
Ah, gut. Wunderbar. I've been slowly depleting my stock.
It's a good thing that you found those. I mean, at the bare minimum, we can use those to work with other weapons too.
Possibly fill some battery needs inside as well.
Yeah.
You find a grand total of 8 energy cells. Chanel, as you're searching through the bodies, most of them are armed, but they're armed with oddly, extremely technological melee weapons. You see that they look almost like axes, but the blades of them look to be made of like hard light. They just are these glowing, pulsing blue weapons that just are constantly giving off energy. You do find a couple of them that have guns, though, and a few of them that have ammo. You find a grand total of 6 9mm rounds and 4 10mm rounds.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah?
More ammo. Not much, but it's something, and these weird weapons that I know nothing about. I make bombs out of coffee cans. So, but might be useful.
Alright, we'll bring it into the local tradesfolk. And possibly see if Carter or Iris might need something as well.
Yeah, might be good.
You also do find a few cans of various canned food, a few cans of canned meat, and even a can of dog food. Not a lot, but some is better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the moment that she finds like canned goods, Chanel's gonna take her bag and shove all of the supplies in this like big bulky backpack that she carries around with her now, and it's got like a as well of a put together like bedroll as you can find, something to kind of keep her warm when she needs to go out. It's got like a little bit of clean water, like very, 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 very minimal like dried bits of meat, just take with her. But the thing that you see her put on in like a different pocket is that can of dog food. Seems like she's trying to kind of sneak that away so she can feed Maisie for one more day, without having to dip into the human food.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's canned meat and whatever this shit is, and she'll toss it in the bag. But it's
I
food.
believe those are vegetables.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really know how good a vegetable's gonna do for us right now, considering we need more protein than anything.
Considering how little vegetables most of the townsfolk eat, they could use it more often than not.
Maybe. I'm more so hoping that we find more things that are bulky.
Yeah.
'Cause I swear to God, if we get invaded one more time, I don't know what's gonna happen.
We fight. We do our best.
Righto. And at that, she's gonna hop back into the driver's seat. This time she's gonna buckle Maisie in.
And he's gonna get inside the passenger seat, sit down and back down, and give Maisie some scratches in the butt.
Fantastic. You drive the rest of the way to the Lilly-Belle gates, where you see that two familiar faces are currently on watch duty. You see that Carter and Iris, probably the better shots in the town, are currently on watch duty, having relieved a couple of guards who have remarkably well-kept service weapons from the NCR, though they never really talked too much about where they got them.
Roll down the window.
Iris and Carter, you see the familiar shape of Chanel's truck coming, trudging along, sledding basically through the snow, with the area that has been patted down enough thanks to constant foot traffic and traffic of the truck, and the occasional other truck that would come along, or sleds that would come along from other places. And it looks like they didn't really have too much trouble. The truck does not look like it ran into any more of the lobotomites or any of the other threats that have made themselves known since the snow set in.
Carter will get up and sort of dust the light bits of snow off of his jacket, holster the 10 millimeter, and head down to meet the others.
Howdy.
Iris probably stays about where she is, but she does get away.
What's the news from the trip?
Some good, some bad. No deaths, no injuries, but sparse.
Not much. We found some rounds, some food. Not a whole lot though. Couple of energy cells, and we managed to sneak past one of those scorpions that been hanging around recently, but nothing. Unfortunately, we're kind of grabbing at scraps now, but it'll be fine. We will be okay. I've been training Ms. Maisie to help with scavenging, so hopefully we'll be able to send her out. She's got thick fur coat. She should be able to survive a little bit longer than the four of us.
You'll have to pardon me if I don't take that as a great comfort.
I do not blame you.
Hey, she is the second most smartest person in the Mojave. And she's probably a better scout than the four of us combined.
Well, I'm not going to dispute that, certainly. Things have been pretty quiet here. Not really sure how much longer things are going to hold out. I'm pretty sure the water situation will be fine because we can distill what we need, and iodine supplies will hold for de-ratting it, but we're going to be running real sparse on anything to eat that isn't shoe leather here real soon. I figure we ought to get together with the rest of the town, figure out some more drastic steps than what we got going on here.
There are drastic measures all about us if we truly need them, but I do not think cannibalizing the corpses out front is a good idea.
Not
What?
that.
Now, why did you think that I was talking about cannibalism?
You're talking about
Because-
drastic measures and food.
Yeah. And, I mean, to be fair, people are getting there.
Just looks around and like backs up
Not-
half a step.
Not our people.
No, not
but
the living.
other people. Ones
Well,
that
you'll
are
have to
coming
pardon me if I
town.
don't feel like turning into the Donner Party anytime soon.
The huh?
I do not wish this either.
The what?
Never mind. Some
those-
old-timey cannibals.
The huh? Never
You're
mind. Never mind.
You're very traditional. It's all good.
Hey, somebody needs to be the one that's soft on the eyes in the party. That's all I'm saying. You have me here because I've got a truck and a dog, not because I don't know, got a diploma or something. Who needs those?
I'd also like to add you are good with the explosives, but fair enough.
I like to point out, what good is a diploma doing anybody right now?
Fixing bodies.
Designing water purification systems.
Can't build water purification systems when you don't have somebody who's got the means to go out and find the tools and the supplies to build those water purification systems.
I never suggested that you were not exceedingly useful. However, I would just like to point out that without parts, we cannot build a water purification system, but we also cannot build it without a plan and a blueprint.
Yeah.
Regardless, food is probably a more pressing issue than water.
Food and trying rebuilding or trying to fix up what little power supply we got. Maybe building more manual fires gets a little bit of warmth back into the town. I mean, it's not getting any warmer anytime soon.
Well, maybe a town meeting might be in order then. See what ideas everybody's got. I've got a few, but I'm not sure if they're any good.
Y'all want me to start rounding up some folks?
Well, with how little you found out there, it's not like there seems to be a big mother lode waiting for us over the next hill.
Well, you never know. We might get lucky. Unfortunately, but kind of fortunately, not many people make it on their trips over here, and well, everything that we've found, we've picked up off of dead bodies and people who maybe had to drop supplies in order to run away from giant bugs. But all I'm saying is that my truck's probably got 1 or 2 good more trips in her before I gotta repair her, so I'm just saying. So it might be best if we round up folks now. Think about contingencies. See, that's my 5-point word, contingency. I've been tossing that one around like I own a dictionary or something. Don't ask me what it means, but I've heard it in conversation.
I'm certain I actually did give you a dictionary when this all started, but did you use it for fire fuel?
I kind of had to use it for fire fuel.
Fair enough.
Like I said, what good is
I
a
do
degree
not blame
doing
you.
for most? What good are books and degree doing for most of us out here right now? Most of us, not all of us, okay?
I earned my doctor's certificate 2 weeks ago. I understand.
Well, I'll go get people round up. Yeah. And she'll adjust her beanie, wipe that little worried look off of her face, offer up a ginormous smile, and she's gonna start basically being the town crier and telling everybody to get their little booties in the biggest building we got for our town hall meeting.
Which would be the original mayor's office. After a bit, everyone is brought into the mayor's office. you four have generally sort of become the de facto council of this town, given that most of the leadership were first to skedaddle when shit hit the fan, leaving behind you a number of people who actually wanted to try to protect their home, and basically whatever other stragglers came in from elsewhere. Everyone is currently being served a fairly hearty soup made out of some of the vegetables that you're able to get from the greenhouses, and what little bit of bighorner meat is still available. And it's currently just being doled out in mugs by Meal Ticket Marty, who joined you after the 188 trading post basically became defunct in the snowdrifts.
Now, remind me, Meal Ticket Marty was the food dispensing robot, correct?
Yes, he is a Nukatron. He is a Protectron that has basically been rebranded as as being part of the Nuka-Cola company.
I love that robot.
No, you get that right. That's the Nuka-Cola family.
That's correct, the family.
Remember out there's a bald man just saying family over and over again with Ray-Bans on.
Repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
A very different vault experiment. The town is sort of quiet. There's a little bit of talking here and there, but what used to be very uplifted, very happy, very pure of itself has basically been beaten down and covered in snow. Everyone is cold, wet, and just really wanting to try to find a way to make things better, but not having a lot of hope left after basically a year of unending winter. And they look to you all, since your seats are basically at the front, along with the other medical professional who used to be called Stitches and now goes by just Doc or Doctor, or occasionally Dr. Grant. He is fairly rough. He's a somewhat younger individual, but also looks like he's been through a lot of scraps. Someone who has been quiet to most everyone else, but has shared with you all not what little bit he knows about the surrounding area, given that he used to run with the cons. So, what are we doing here, gang?
Ladies, gentlemen, those who wish not to identify, we wanted to thank you all for coming to this meeting. Listen, we know that things aren't getting any better. It's not getting any warmer. If anything, I thought I felt it drop a couple more degrees this morning. I'm sure that people are getting scared, and I understand that right now we're in a bit of a dire situation. We're running low on food, on supplies. People are going missing, trying to find and help and gather. We wanted to bring everybody here to discuss as a community next steps, things that we can do to kind of make it a little bit easier on everybody. I've been going out every day, as all of you know, whenever I can, to go and fish out supplies, see what I can find, see what people drop and what I can bring back. But the trips aren't getting any easier. I'm working on other means of getting people transportation for when we are getting ready to go out and do more scavenging. I have befriended some animals in my time in this town, and who knows? Maybe soon we'll be able to have sleds pulled by various other dogs and stuff. I've been finding a little bit more food, some more weapons, more ammo, but things aren't easy right now. So I think that it's best if we, together with us as the council, talk about what it is that we need most. Talk about what steps we need to take in order to obtain what we need most. And maybe think about redistributing some of the jobs that people have going around here. Give everybody a little bit more responsibility somewhere, then take the responsibility away from other places to make it easier on everybody. Our numbers are dwindling. So all of us need to step up in some places and step down in others. I'd like to open the floor to my compatriots, and then we'll open the floor to general public for questions.
Looking between Iris and Dr. Hoffman, y'all have any insight into ways that we can maybe survive? I got some thoughts, but I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
The primary things we need are food, water, shelter, which the shelters in the Mojave here are, put it plainly, not good for winter weather. There's no insulation, no proper way to keep in the heat once the heat has been made inside the house, whatever house they may be dwelling in at the time. And so people are just simply freezing to death. That said, I think it would be best to try and implement a way to create an insulation for most folks, try and shelter for them, try and cure things before they happen. Ounce of prevention worth pound of cure, if anyone knows what that means. Preventing diseases, freezing, and so forth. It'll also be easier then to try and keep food, keep water, etc. How we do this?
What about you, Iris?
Best I got is honestly keep every bit of scrap cloth you find. See if you can fashion it into something. Wear it as much as you can, because that'll at least help keep your heat inside. But unfortunately, with what we got, there's not a whole lot else we can do.
Fair enough. One of the things I was thinking about with the lobotomites and these cyber scorpions showing up all over the place is they have to be coming from somewhere or being made somewhere. Seems more likely that they were in storage, have been brought out, and have been plaguing us for a while. Maybe we can cobble together something to track back whatever signal is activating them, because not a lot upstairs, probably some kind of control mechanism being broadcast somewhere, like an old, TV tuner telling them, go over here and kill these guys. And the reason I think that's important is that whatever that facility is, it's going to have power. That means fusion cells. That means fusion cells that we can steal and bring back here to heat our homes, keep the greenhouses running, possibly grow things. The other alternative is to try and link up with New Vegas, but the monorail project seems like it's pretty much dead in the snow at this point without further backing from up there. And the other option involves traveling a long way to the west through all the snow, because I know there's vaults out there and there's places like Necropolis, but that's a long trek even at the best of times, and these are not the best of times. So I'd like to make sure that we have something in the works before we start looking further afield. I figure that if we find something that is capable of manufacturing robots, we can take it for what it's worth, bring it back here after dismantling it there.
Yeah, I think that focusing on our infrastructure and working on bettering our greenhouses and saving seeds whenever we can find them is probably one of the best ways for us to go right now. And I know that that is a little bit scary, but anytime we might find like some form of animal that could be taken down, use everything. Skin it, carve it, save bones and stuff, because that, whatever we can do to just get us through the next couple days, we just take it a couple days at a time. I can attempt to get word out, see if somehow by the grace of whatever is out there, we can get in contact with New Vegas. But until then, it's best if we just work as a team. Try to keep spirits high. Because the moment that we lose hope, we lose everything. So we just keep going. We've made it a year. And that's pretty impressive, considering some of the other little compounds and places around us didn't make it a month. On a slightly less sad and depressing note, though it's not much, we did manage to find a little bit more supplies on our run around this morning, Dr. Hoffman and I. So if anybody needs anything, it's not a whole lot, but it's something. And she's gonna take the supplies out of her bag and add it to the what I assume is like the weapons, like the little like weapons pile and like the food pile, like basically like the stuff that I assume we've been hoarding to kind of like disperse amongst the town people.
Yeah, there is there are basically rooms that have been set aside to act as sort of pantry, armory, that kind of thing, largely consolidated just to the mayor's building, the town hall itself, just to keep it so that there isn't someone trying to sneak into various places to grab something and not make off with it without basically signing it out. There have been a lot of people keeping records. There have been a few cases of theft, mostly just kids wanting to get something, whatever sweet little thing that they can find. But it's just been, after so many months and so long with so many people leaving, the thefts have basically deteriorated nothing, because there's not as much left to steal anymore. Especially when it comes to weapons. There are plenty of guns available and a good number of melee weapons. It's just a matter of ammo, since the gun runners can only make it so far, and you'd have to go and meet them wherever their caravans might end up being. That or make it yourselves, but no one has managed to scrap together enough parts to actually make a reloading bench for Lilly-Belle, since the last one basically broke down because someone was trying to make explosive rounds that went off while they were trying to reload them.
Never a fun time.
I swear I did not do it.
as everyone is just sort of milling about afterwards, none of the most of the people had anything to say. There is one person that comes up to you all. It is a younger boy, maybe about 13, 14. Chanel, you know him to be Tucker. He is a kid who has been a troublemaker for the longest time that you've known him, but he's also been really good about trying to keep the younger kids in line and keep them quiet and content, if not happy. So what are we gonna do? Boss says, and he just kind of looks to the four of you. Well, he is currently wearing a shot up old NCR trooper's helmet that has a conspicuous hole where the forehead is now.
Well, I'm going to work on building that radio tracker, see if I can't figure out where all these nasties are coming from. If anybody wants me to work on something else that's more pressing, let me know, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like we kind of know where they're coming from.
I figure since they've got to have some more local bases beyond that, though. Something that's been activated. Otherwise, wouldn't it just be like a constant stream of the things?
Maybe, but
Radio signal did not travel that far. Must be a relay station somewhere.
Well, I'm probably gonna work on keeping the truck up, and keeping the backs going. I got to get ready to head out for night patrol anyway. Never know what you'll find when you go out. So, but you, Tucker, I got a very important job for you.
Yeah.
And she's gonna get on eye level. You know that greenhouse we got?
Yeah.
I need you to take one of our water purification systems in there. And I need you to make sure that those crops are staying mighty fine, mighty tall, and that they keep growing. Those crops that we got in there, the few that we got, are very important for us to survive. You're gonna have one of the most important jobs in the town.
And he will just think for a second, and then he will give a salute. You got it, boss.
Good job, kiddo.
Oh, I found something for you, by the way. And he just rummages in his little satchel that he has at his side, pulls out like a switchblade, tosses it, pulls out what looks to be like the skull of a large rat, and just save that for later, and puts it back in. And then he pulls out a set of binoculars. These should be helpful. And he just passes them over to you, Chanel.
Where did you find these?
One of the weirdos had it. The ones that don't got no brains.
Which one?
You're asking me to pick out which one of those weirdos?
Well, did it have anything that made it seem different, or did they just happen to be carrying impairment?
Well, it had a 45, as opposed to the usual 9mm that they had. But other than that, just kind of grunted louder.
That is strange.
Hey, Tucker.
Yeah.
Give you a piece of candy if you tell me where exactly you found this thing.
Oh yeah, sure. It was right outside the gate. Maybe about 30 paces closer to the what the old Mojave outpost used to be. You know, before the NCR pulled out.
And she's gonna take out a tiny piece of candy that might be stuck to the wrapper, just because cold. Well, I've been saving this for a rainy day, but you deserve it more than I do.
Nah, it's a bit too cold for rain.
What's rain?
What snow turns into when it is warm.
Yeah.
Sounds weird. Snow's bad enough.
Yeah, it is. All right. Well, you go tend to those crops. Purifier that I was gonna bring in, it's right in that room right there. You go take care of that for us, and you're gonna be mini hero of the town.
You got it, boss. And he will just rush off.
Before you go,
And he just falls right on his face, trying to stop himself. And then he just picks himself back up.
and Dr. Hoffman will actually also stoop down. With the attacks that have come recently, have there been any new injuries, any new casualties?
No, someone got hit a little bit with one of them weird glowy axes that those things were throwing. But the thing is, the cut didn't bleed. It just kind of got all burned and stuff, even after the cut actually happened. You get the feeling that he means that the wound was cauterized the moment that the actual cut occurred as well.
What axes?
You know, those weird glowy ones, like the ones that Chanel brought in. It just points at the new axes on the walls. The ones that look like their blades are made of hard light.
Carter very, very unsubtly is.
Are there still other people around?
They're mostly just milling about, talking, trying to figure out what they can do to help the town out. Marty is also doling out very small amounts of his supply of Nuka Dark, which is the alcoholic Nuka-Cola beverage.
Iris will address everybody in the room. By the way, just a reminder, if any of you see anybody dressed in all black, and she will give kind of a rough description of what she does. Report them to me directly, and immediately do not engage.
Right. We'll leave that to you. And they just kind of like shake their heads a little bit, but a lot of them look scared, especially given the stories that they've heard about farmsteads and smaller places being not abandoned, but completely wiped out. Like after they had heard tale of the individuals in black making their way to those places.
Dr. Hoffman's then going to go over to the wall that has the collection of axes that Chanel has been storing there now and takes one off to start examining.
Carter is doing the same thing, so they're both like, ooh, ah.
You going, ooh, ah. Hoffman's going,
Hoffman's going, what the fuck?
Iris is probably doing something similar to try and see if any of this seems familiar. Like any of the construction or anything. See if we have more institute games on our.
I should be absolutely clear here. Carter is just taking one.
Yeah,
fair enough.
No, it's kind of what I figured.
Yeah, that's fair. You take one of those axes, and everyone else looking at them. Iris, I will just give it to you. This is not of Institute make. This is very different. It's much less sleek. It's much more like brutalistic in terms of like industrial make, but it's also looks like it's very like sturdy.
Oh yeah, it's definitely ain't institute shit.
No, it will snap when someone looks at it.
Made out of paper.
Yeah, plastic.
There must be an energy source that produces heat for this.
Yeah.
He's gonna try and take it apart. Figure out how the fuck this thing works.
Give me a roll of, let's go ahead and make it intelligence and science.
Science.
Can I assist?
Yes, and that will, with that assistance, you will give him one extra die.
Okay. Two successes.
Okay. And with those two successes, you are able to take it apart. The moment you begin working to take it apart, the actual blade seems to just spatter and like deactivate, and it just looks like there are basically like emitters where the blade used to be. It looks basically like it is made out of repurposed and like almost refunctioned Robco parts. Mostly Robco parts, some General Atomics, but it looks like it has not a completely like of its own make. It looks like basically someone took apart all of these like robots and cobbled them together into this different type of weapon. With the actual make of it is very intelligent, but it looks like it almost looks like it was basically made just using what was around, not made with like real purpose in mind. Like they didn't make these parts specifically for this. They just took what they had and figured out a way to reuse them.
So it wasn't a purpose-built device. It was like, I have a bunch of laser emitters and know how to curve this thing into a choppy chop.
Exactly. It also looks like they were more made less for fighting people, but with the way that the emitters are set up, it looks like these were made more for fighting robots.
Interesting.
We could use this. These produce heat. If we can repurpose these to be something that is always on, we could essentially make axe blade heating lamp.
Let me see one of them.
I mean, it's
When I have
it's essentially just a stabilized laser emitter, isn't it?
But it's been conformed. Usually a laser goes straight and does not stop until it meets something. This, as you can tell, it curves.
let me take a look. Let me take a look at one of these things. I can take it back to the workshop, see if I can turn it into something.
Yeah, see what you can figure out with it.
Yeah. Can't make any promises. We don't have that many parts, but I can maybe deconstruct and reconstruct it using what is it, an axle, and yeah, I might be able to do something with this. Give me a couple days.
Well, if they keep attacking, we'll keep getting parts. Looking for the energy source. Is this like fusion cell powered, or is it just some other something or other? How is this actually creating the heat?
It kind of looks like it is made using the same kind of like technology that goes into making a fusion cell, but it looks like it's specifically made to be a sort of smaller localized energy source. It's bigger than an energy cell but smaller than a fusion cell, and it doesn't actually have a nuclear reaction. It just has like almost like making protons. This is more like a proton blade.
Right. And he'll hand the deactivated axe to Chanel. We should make sure that these are all turned off for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a power source that, well, we don't know how finite it is, but it's useful. Something.
Yeah. I'll tinker. I'll see what I can come up with.
Good.
And if I manage to get something, I'll go back to use party pants for your blueprint.
Dankeschön.
She'll take one of the axes to her little workshop, which is just a workbench with some tools.
Sounds about right. So you take it to your workshop and you begin tinkering, and you all begin to just figure out what you're going to be doing for the rest of the day when you hear the town's alarm system going off. Something is approaching.
Well, Iris was already on her way out to the gate to keep watch. She starts running.
Fair enough. Iris, you and Carter, being the more agile of the group, managed to make your way there fairly quickly. The others catch up, and you look out and see into the... It's not completely white out snowing, but it's still fairly snowing to the point where visibility is not great. You look out with your scope on your rifle, and you see that it's not another attack, or if it is, it's a very weird one. Given there aren't a sea of robots or lobotomites or any other creatures, there just seems to be one blocky figure. It actually looks like a Securitron, which is weird because you haven't seen a Securitron that's made its way out here in months since the snow really began to pile up.
What the hell?
What do you see?
It looks like a fucking Securitron.
I take the binoculars and I look out.
As you look out, you notice that that your vision is green. It seems that these binoculars are night vision binoculars, actually.
What a weird little shit. I love that kid. And she's gonna put those back. Well, those aren't useful. Well, in the daylight, they're not useful. That's pretty cool, though. I've got the ability to see at night now.
As it gets closer, Iris, you do see that it is a Securitron. It is a singular Securitron when usually there would be a good number of them at once, because it's more like they are better in groups. They're not really made to be very effective when it's just one of them. Even with the more recent update that you had heard helped take down the Battle of Hoover Dam for Mr. House's own goals. But on the face of them, where on the TV screen that shows what would normally be a police officer or a soldier, there looks to be a cowboy. And instead of having a wheel that he is rolling along with, you see that he is on a sled, and it's basically got like little ski poles that he is pushing himself along the snow with, instead of having the singular wheel that he rolls along with.
And we also see this now? Those of us don't have...
You are now able to see that it is a Securitron pushing itself along a singular ski. You don't see the TV screen since you don't have the magnification, though.
Is that...
It's a skiing robot.
Indeed. You know,
Solomon, would I potentially recognize this particular Securitron by having spent time in the Mojave before winter happens?
I would definitely say so, especially anyone who might have actually managed to get to New Vegas to possibly lose a good bit of money. You've probably seen this same Securitron outside of the Lucky 38, basically acting as the doorman, which prevents anyone from going inside. This is a Securitron that actually goes by the name Victor.
So, as he's getting closer, are we kind of able to pull the pieces together?
Yeah, you can definitely. You hear him giving off the sound of someone whistling. That sounds like they are whistling. Jingle, jangle, jingle. Okay. Even though he's a robot that does not have any spurs.
You all know the saying, when pigs fly, duh?
Yeah.
Is this the new version of that, where it's when Assaultrons or Securitrons ski?
Maybe so.
Something
one for
like
me.
that.
Why the hell is Vic all the way out here?
You know this bot?
Yeah, he's from New Vegas. He
Mhm.
hangs out outside the Lucky 38.
Yeah,
But
I've seen him a
what's
couple
up?
times too.
What's he doing here? That
Probably looking for some sort of shelter.
yeah, that can't be good news.
We should probably meet him out. I don't want him getting inside the town just yet, but it might be worth to hear or see what might be going on.
Yeah, let's go meet him.
So you make it down and out of the gate, managing having it closed behind you, so that way, just in case something goes on, it would be harder for him or anyone else to get into the town if they get through you. And you see the victor's just like, Spurs go, hey, oh hey, we've got a welcome committee out here and everything. Howdy.
Howdy.
Hello.
What are you doing out here?
Well, I was sent here to find the individuals that are currently leading this fine town.
Oh, well, I guess you best count your luck and count your blessings because you found them.
Consider us found, Pilgrim.
Did House send you?
Well, you beat me to it. Mr. House and his star employee did ask me to come and, well, deliver a bit of a message to y'all. They would like to cordially invite you, and he just raises an arm that you know is armed with both a missile launcher and a grenade launcher. And you see that it just flicks, and instead of having the round hole, has a more like square or like rectangular hole. Invite you to join them at the Lucky 38, and it just dispenses out for like key cards. They said that they had a job for industrious individuals such as yourself.
Council meeting?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And she's gonna group them together and kind of like football huddle.
Proceeds to show ass to the Assaultron.
Yeah.
Securitron.
Yep. Do we trust it? I don't know if I trust it.
Well, here's the problem. If we don't trust it and that it's actually from Mr. House, we are fucked.
I think the better question would be, do you trust Mr. House? There's a finite number of Securitrons rolling around the wasteland.
Yeah, so the fact that he'd send one all the way out here. The only question is how do we get out there safely?
I mean, we got the truck.
We do.
That's about it. We got to trust if we do go, whatever and whoever we leave on guard here is capable enough.
Well, do we want to go?
Well, sure.
I think we have a choice.
Well, of course we have a choice. Not much of one, but we got a choice. Let's go or, maybe get our ass kicked by Securitron. But, okay. Then we go. I will... I'll prep the truck. Y'all want to go and make sure whoever's on guard is properly armed?
Yes, I think I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She'll turn back to Victor. we accept your invitation.
Well, hot damn. All right, then. And he will just ski himself closer to all of you and pass out the key cards, one to each of you. This should get you into the Lucky 38, and it'll get you past the security checkpoint. You don't got to worry about a credit check or nothing.
Wunderbar.
And I was also sent to make sure that you all have a better chance of getting there without too much trouble. So I'll be backing y'all up along the way.
Swell.
All right. Well, that helps.
Solomon, would I, as Dr. Hoffman, know roughly what Securitrons are armed with?
As Dr. Hoffman, and having dealt with at least a few people who have likely had a bit of a run-in with a Securitron, either when they were drunk or rowdy, they are armed non-lethally with a number of countermeasures, including various tasers at various strength settings. When it comes to lethal combat, though, they have not only fairly high caliber munitions, given that they shoot roughly, depending on the model, either 45 to 50 caliber rounds. Then they also have a high rate of fire grenade launcher, and for extended distance battles, they have missile launchers that actually fire fairly high level ordnance.
We are going to have a one-man army with us. No, I should say a one-robot army.
I say again, swell.
I don't know about all that. I'm kind of an older model. I don't got all the fancy tricks the new ones do, but I can hold my own. I've been through it. I've made this trek once before, and hell, y'all part the way there anyway.
All right. I have no issues with one robot. I should not have issues with another.
Right. Then I'll just go ahead and let y'all see to whatever you're going to be seeing to, and I'll just wait for y'all out here.
Cool.
And with that, he will basically just use his skis to just slowly begin trying to turn himself, so that way he's facing the other direction now.
No, nobody help him. Let him figure this one out for himself.
I do not think he needs to figure it out. I think he has it figured out.
It's still kind of sad to watch.
All right. Well,
Who wants to deliver the bad news?
The news. Nice, I'll do it. Hoffman will go back to the rest of the townsfolk that probably are still slightly mingling within the large mayor's hall, if not all of them have left. Gentlemen, ladies, machines, other configurations of being. The 4 council members here have been given a request for attendance for meeting with good Mr. House.
That gets people
One.
whispering.
One which we cannot refuse.
So
Here,
what? You're just gonna leave us here?
9. Who here feels they are a good shot?
You see a few hands raised, especially the guards that kind of alternate between if they're with Carter and Iris. A few other hands raise, and you see Tucker saying, "Oh, me, right here, me."
Who here is above the age of 17 and feels they are a good shot?
Oh. And Tucker puts his hand down. Everyone else's hands stay up.
Alright. And he'll actually take from his own reserve some of the fusion and energy cells that he's still got left, place them onto the table. So you know that I am not leaving you completely abandoned. I do not know what other assistance the others can give. We hope to make it back here as soon as possible.
Give me a roll of charisma and speech, if you would, please.
Oh, lovely. This is going to go great.
I'll give you an extra die since you're also giving them ammo.
Need to roll a 4 or lower.
It can happen.
1 success.
See? It can happen.
All because of that third die.
They just murmur a little bit, and there's a little bit of grumbling, but they take the ammo and will begin to just generally get weapons ready. More people will be armed and just ready to fight if things do happen, and everyone else is basically just going to work to get back to work. Dr. Grant will make his way over to you and say, "So just you four, huh? I guess I don't rate high enough to go to the fucking Lucky 38."
Well, Doc, I mean, listen.
Don't worry about it. I'm just giving you shit. I don't want to deal with that hoity-toity asshole.
I was gonna say, what the fuck? You gotta stay here. I mean, something. You've got a degree. Don't say.
The hell's a degree?
It is
I
what I
don't
burned
fucking
2
know.
weeks ago.
Makes
you mean that
great
little strip
fuel.
of paper? All right.
And Dr. Hoffman's actually going to hand off to Dr. Grant 2 stim packs.
I'll keep these in handy just in case. And then he just like looks around, just like, and he will just slowly slip you a hit of turbo, which in terms makes it so that you can take another turn immediately, but you'll forego your next turn in the actual initiative order.
You know, just in case we needed some extra high-strung super methamphetamine here.
It also does have an addiction rating of 6 dice. So,
Oh boy, that's the good stuff.
That's the juice.
y'all be careful out there. I don't want to have to run this shit show by myself.
Those drugs.
Don't worry about it. And he just turns and leaves.
It was a trade between good doctors.
Where the fuck you finding that shit in the fucking winter?
Why did I made that shit?
Ah,
He'll just point to Dr. Grant as they're walking away. Precisely.
all right. Well, let me go fix up the truck a little bit. Then we should be all righty, roo to go.
The people have been given that extra ammunition and now know that they just basically need to hold out for as long as you guys are gone. Figuring that you'll probably come back with something if you're going to go see Mr. House. And they basically have gathered together what they can spare for the trip to New Vegas. It'll probably take a few days at least, even with the truck, given that that there's only so many roads that can be taken. And the truck can either hold all of you and all of the gear, or someone can also take the motorbike if they want.
No.
Never mind, no one's allowed the motorbike. Chanel says fuck off. As you all are getting your gear together, you hear the large robotic metallic stomps of Marty making his way closer to you all. One for the road.
Sure thing, Marty.
Sure. He will then give you guys bottles, not just glasses, but full-on bottles of a new creation, at least, not one that you've ever seen before that he's made.
Oh.
This is something new. I have dubbed it Nuka Bomb Drop. Twice the alcoholic content of Nuka Dark, and 3 times the flavor.
What's the alcoholic content of Nuka Dark?
If I remember, out of character, if I remember right, it's about 20%.
So we now have a 4 16-ounce bottles of what is basically vodka.
There's vodka in it.
Given that it's a Nuka product, I believe that this robot has just reinvented a Jaeger bomb. Or maybe vodka and Red Bull.
Radioactive Jaeger bombs.
Well, thanks, Marty.
Of course. Best of luck on the road. Remember, no sunset sarsaparilla.
9.
Good man. I always liked you, Dr. Hoffman. And he'll just turn around and just walk away.
Well, let's just hope they offer Nuka-Cola products at wherever we're going.
We could always lie to him.
Anyway, let's go.
You'll get into the truck with your gear, enough food, hopefully, for the few days of travel you have, and now each of you with a bottle of Nuka Bomb Drop, which, for your own note-taking purposes, will not heal you or give you AP like normal Nuka-Cola would, but will A, increase your strength, endurance, and agility by 1 for the entirety of a scene, and 2, let you re-roll one of each of those tests for the entirety of the scene.
All right.
Also, it is incredibly alcoholic, so it does have an addiction rating of about 3.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not like we've got, enough for somebody to have 2, because I can't drink it.
Oh boy.
It's true enough.
It's fine. What's the worst that could happen?
So, you start up the truck. Maisie is in her little bed in the cab of the truck, and you get going. Victor is skiing alongside you, though he now seems to have activated a small little jet booster at his back to make sure that he can actually keep up with you. Chanel, could you please give me a roll of, let's go ahead and call it agility and pilot?
Sure. What are those? Those are scores. Those are scores.
They're good scores, right?
Yeah. I got 1 success.
That's all you needed. You're just driving along, taking the path east to get up to Novak, figuring that that's probably a good stopping point, at least for the first leg of the travel. Maybe to let everyone go ahead and stretch their legs, and if you have to take a little bit more time, probably give you guys a good place to rest for the evening. Given that, despite the fact it's called Novak, there are plenty of rooms, especially since more of the people that used to live there are now elsewhere. And you are all just enjoying the ride. The truck is fairly well heated. You managed to at least keep the heater going for the truck. It's still a little chilly, but it's not as bad as if you were just out in the cold. I would like everyone to please give me rolls of perception and survival, please.
Ooh. One success with a complication for me.
I just got one success.
0 successes.
Adarael, you'd have to start typing in and then click one of the bots instead, I think.
Yes, because there are multiples of these.
Indeed.
Yep.
/ roll and hit tab.
There we go.
One success.
All right. Chanel, you're busy just making sure that you don't lose your way, don't lose the sleds and the wheels grip on the ground. Everyone else, as you're just basically keeping an eye out for anything that could possibly make the trek a little bit more difficult, you do see someone up ahead in the middle of the road. You see someone that looks like they are trying to drag themselves on their belly closer to the truck, basically. And Dr. Hoffman, with what you see that they are dragging bloodily. And your instincts as someone who follows the Hippocratic Oath kick in.
Yep. Run towards them.
All right. I need to make a roll.
Well, why are you getting out of my truck? Don't get out of the truck.
Oh, he's already out of the truck.
Carter is of the opinion that this is possibly bait and has drawn his handgun.
Did you tell her to stop the car, or are you just tucking and rolling out of her truck?
Snowbank?
As far as I know, this was like when we were still at camp, but okay.
Yeah, you guys have been going a little while, so you are just still on the way to Novak.
Okay. Then no, yeah, he's gonna tell her basically stop the truck and getting out right away.
Fair enough.
I'm just gonna dip out of the truck.
I mean, you'd be diving into a snowbank, most likely. Could be worse.
Yeah, he's German. He knows how snows is.
Yeah. And they are the smart one.
Yeah, Iris is basically climbing on top of the truck and pulling her gun out and keeping an eye on things.
So, Dr. Hoffman, you make your way to this individual and you see that they are currently wounded. You roll them onto their back to see that they are looks like they've basically been cut across the stomach. It looks like they're trying to basically hold things in. And then you also notice that their mouth has been duct taped shut. And there is a grenade that has had the pin pulled when you turn them over.
In their mouth?
No, just on their chest, and they look very frightened and just resigned, almost.
Do they still have the spanner, at least?
The spoon of the grenade looks like it is just about to fly off. I will give you a roll of agility, and I'll go ahead and call it either explosives, or I'll let you say what you think a good skill for trying to catch the spoon and keep it there is.
I almost want to say like deft hands medicine wise for this, but I think honestly like trying to repair it to make sure that it doesn't fly off would make more sense.
I'll say repair then.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and make it agility and repair.
All right.
You just reach for it and you're like, oh fuck, and the spoon just flies off into the snowbank, and this figure, a woman who looks like she likely came from Novak or somewhere nearby, just looks at you scared.
Hopping underneath the grenade, instantly just launching it and then ducking over her.
All right, I'm going to make the roll for the damage of the grenade.
It's been nice being part of the podcast, guys.
Viewers.
So that is a grand total of 5 damage. This is reduced by your armor, but since you're also going to be, you've thrown your body over hers and you are going to be taking the hit for her, you're taking the damage twice.
Okay, would this be physical damage reduction then?
It is physical damage reduction, yes.
Okay. So average then across all body parts is 4. So 5 times 2, basically 10, reduced then to 6. Would this be then reduced to 2 instances of 1?
It would be 2 instances of 1 because you'd be taking each hit individually.
Okay.
So not a lot of damage, but especially since you've gotten your armor improved, but it's still not great.
I got some shrapnel in the butt.
You did get some shrapnel right in the ass. And there are now a number of gunshots happening at you. One of them seems to have hit a little close to your head, and the other one actually seems like it was aimed right more at the truck as it hits the back of it, not the cab or the engine block, but the back to hit anything or anyone that's in there. And I need everyone to please tell me what their initiative score is.
I have a 13.
16.
17.
12.
Alrighty. So with that, surprise, surprise, Iris is going first.
All right, where are these gunshots coming from?
So the area that you were entering was like more of like almost like a small canyon. There are higher up ridges on either side of it, because you basically have to take this a little canyon to like get into a turn that is an incline to get up to where Novak is. And unfortunately, it looks like there are 2 individuals to your right and 3 individuals to your left that sort of just pop out of the snow.
All right, well, I will go for one of the ones on the right. I will take my minor action to aim, and regret not taking the perk I wanted, but it's fine. And I'm gonna shoot one of these fuckers.
Alrighty. It is within the preferred range of your weapon, so you are all good to make that fire as necessary.
All right. Remember what the things on my weapon do? I can spend action point to deal more damage.
Indeed, you can. Unfortunately, at the moment, the action pool is empty.
That's fine. And I can reroll one of these because I aim. I mean, I'll take 2 successes.
That's fair. So, with those 2 successes, you are very easily able to hit them and add 1 point to the action point pool.
Right. I'll roll to see where I hit them. 12 is the right arm.
All right, that is a good spot to hit them. Go ahead and roll that damage.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, ignoring 2 points of armor.
For each, 1 for each effect. So that's a lot. There was an arm where there. And now there's not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it seems like the individual doesn't even seem too upset about the loss of that arm. They just sort of look at it, look down to their weapon, reach down and grab it and pull up a what looks to be a revolver. And you can see that this does look like one of the lobotomites, but it's weird because lobotomites don't plan. They pretty much just were almost like savage, like frothing at the mouth wild animals, and this is an ambush.
Cool. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I will relay. Hey, we got five lobotomites up on the ridge, and that's my turn.
Alrighty. Unsurprisingly, next is Carter.
Vaulting out of the back of the truck, pulling the gun as he goes, and going to spend the minor action to move to close distance with the closest one. Because he does not have a rifle, he's got a pistol.
All right, so the distance will stay at about perfect range as long as you get like right up next to the ridge, given the fact that they are more like highly, like a higher elevation than you at the moment.
Right, that works for him. Taps the pit boy, headshot.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll to hit, with Vats making sure that you will hit the head.
That's going to be a miss, but I'll spend a luck point to re-roll one of those.
Alrighty.
I will miss.
Unfortunate. I will ask also because it wasn't said beforehand. Would you like to spend a luck point to activate the perk?
You know, I meant to say that basically every combat I'm going to spend a luck point, and if he doesn't show up, just tell me and I'll realize and have it refunded. So yes.
Noted. That will be noted for future combats. Next up, it is the lobotomites, unfortunately. Going to be mostly aiming their shots at Dr. Hoffman, though the ones that are at the ridge where Carter is will be putting a few shots his way as well. Okay, so the shots at Carter, unfortunately, all miss for them.
One of them's a complication.
And one of them does, in fact, have a complication, and you do hear as the weapon jams. And now for some shots at Dr. Hoffman and his patient.
Covering the patient.
Alrighty. Those normally would hit, but because you're basically still prone, you are a target that has a little bit less of a area, like less of a target, less big of a target, and so your defense is basically higher for that hit, and it just you hear the bullet whiz past your head again.
Oh, lovely.
And now it is your turn, Dr. Hoffman.
As soon as he hears the bullet whiz past his head, pops his head back up and immediately starts to work on the patient in front of him.
All right. Go ahead and give me a roll of intelligence and medicine. And are you utilizing a stim pack or are you just going for basic first aid?
Basic first aid at the beginning. See how bad she is.
Okay, go ahead and roll me intelligence and medicine.
All right. Two successes.
All right. With 2 successes, you're basically able to patch her up as best as you can. You think that basically with what you've done, you'll keep her from bleeding out here. She will not have to worry too much about the injuries she's currently sustained, and you've helped her feel a little bit better. but you feel like if she takes maybe another one or two hits, anything that just to add more trauma on, it's not looking good. She will need rest and more medical attention, and not in a war zone, hopefully.
We'll continue to body block shots then as like minor action stuff.
Okay. Next up, it is Chanel and Maisie.
Wonderful. Are any of them in like a little in like a little pool together?
Yes, each side has lobotomites in groupings. One side has 2 lobotomites and one side has 3.
I would like to take my yeah. I'm gonna take one of my Molotov cocktails and light it. And I'd like to throw it at the group of 3.
Okay, go ahead and give me a roll of perception and explosives.
Sir. Can I spend a luck point?
You absolutely can. You can go ahead and spend a luck point to reroll 1 die.
Okay. I'm gonna try to reroll that 16.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately those are both a miss.
Okay. So I will say that because it is still an area of effect, it will not hit all 3 of them. It will hit 1 for a little bit less damage, but you can go ahead and still roll 3 dice to deal damage to him specifically. And this will be energy damage, given that it's a Molotov cocktail, and it will have a chance of continuing to burn him because Molotov cocktails have the persistent quality.
They are also vicious.
And they're also vicious because you're good with explosives.
Hereby calling it, Iris stole all of our luck.
Damn it, Iris.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That is good. That is a grand total of 4 energy damage, and it will continue to deal 2 damage each turn.
Yep. My viciousness treats 5s and 6s as 2 damage each. So,
Oh, I apologize. I read persistent wrong. It will be 2 turns where he will continue to take another 3 dice of damage at the end of every single one of his turns. Each of those times will be vicious. Indeed. Next up, back to the top. It is not Iris. You all hear, despite the wind blowing, a guitar. And out from one of the snowdrifts just pops up the familiar visage of the Caballero Ghoul, who pulls out his revolver and fires 6 shots upwards at one of the ghouls that are firing at Dr. Hoffman. Or one of the lobotomites. My apologies.
Orale, pendejo.
And he will always get 3d20. He has 1 luck point that he will use to reroll that 20. That's still another success. And he deals 8 dice of damage, I believe. Yep.
It's 8 dice of damage, vicious and piercing 1.
Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, piercing 2. That's a dead lobotomite in the dome. Dr. Hoffman, there were 2 people firing at you. Now there's only 1 who's missing an arm currently.
Wunderbar.
And then there's another guitar riff as he just like looks to Carter, like tips his sombrero, and then just ducks back into another snowdrift. Iris, it is your turn. It's concerning that you've gotten used to seeing a random Caballero ghoul pop up here and there from time to time.
Iris is just gonna aim and shoot the one she shot last time.
Alrighty, go ahead and make that roll for me.
He knows Carter is not easy to hit, so gonna go ahead. Oh wait, 3.
Yeah.
That is a tag skill.
Hey, there you go. All right, that will put 2 more points into the action pool.
Right.
Would you like to utilize any of those points for extra damage?
Nah, I'm good. Oh, well,
Okay.
looks like I might be blowing this guy's leg off next.
Just going for limbs all damn day.
Okay, well, it helps if I remember to actually type in the command, huh?
That would be useful, yes.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 more, ignoring 2.
And that will finish off that particular lobotomite. The leg blown off, and you just hear... and he is no longer moving. Harder.
Okay, so there were 2 up there, and they're both dead.
They are.
And there are how many more, like across the way?
3. One of them is currently on fire.
Okay, well, in that case, moving into an open space seems like a bad idea. So, is there cover nearby?
There's not really much cover you can take unless you wanted to use the truck as cover.
I'll use the truck as cover. Carter will, I don't know if that's a full minor action or if that's just like keeping his head down. He'll use it for move if he has to. Otherwise, he'll use his minor for aiming at one of them and fire off a single shot.
All right, I will say that given where you were, you don't really need to move too much to take the cover. You can go ahead and use your minor action for the aim.
All right, I will re-roll the 16 for the aim.
Alrighty.
Okay, and that is going to be 2 hits.
Alrighty, go ahead and where were you aiming for? The head again?
Of course.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll the damage.
And getting 2 successes means that the damage is increased by 2, correct?
Getting 2 successes means that you would hit someone who has defense 2 or just add more action points into the pool.
Oh, okay. Add more action. That makes sense then.
Yep. This means that there are now 4 action points in the pool.
Okay, that is 6 damage and 8 damage actually, because vicious, ignoring 1 armor.
All right, 8 damage, ignoring 1 armor. That is a significant hit to the point where you can see that they are basically just woozy as the bullet hits them in the head and grazes like right across their skull, leaving them reeling for a moment. They are stunned because that is a critical effect on the head. You all hear, "Hang on, y'all, I got this," and you see Victor just skiing his way to the front and raises up his arm and lets off a volley of 25 millimeter grenades.
Oh my gosh.
Dum, 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 dum.
He's like a singing, skiing cowboy that's also got like 40 mic strapped to him.
Pretty much.
Ooh.
All right, that will succeed.
I almost feel bad.
Is this a tagged skill for him too? Does that give more successes then?
Unfortunately, no. His tag skills are small arms, speech, and barter.
Fair enough.
That is highly reasonable given what he does.
Yeah.
But he does have vicious. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll be 6 explosive damage, which does kill the one that was stunned and wounds the other 2. And that will be him. Chanel. It seems that you now have another person who loves explosions.
Excellent.
Dr. Hoffman, it is currently your turn.
Continuing to work on the patient.
Okay.
Gut wounds are not easy things to heal, so he's throwing energy at it.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll me another intelligence and medicine check.
Two more successes.
All right. You get the feeling that you've basically made it so that they don't really have to worry too much about their guts falling out anymore. You think that with enough bed rest and with enough constant care, this person could recover. But you need to get them somewhere where they can get bed rest and care, so you'd have to get them to Novak.
All right. And then can I do like a minor action to try and pull them back?
Yes, I will say that you can use your minor action to pull them back into cover at the very least for now, if not into the truck itself. And you're going to take a few shots from the lobotomites as you do so.
Of course.
What lobotomites remain, that is. One will miss quite horribly. The other one, unfortunately, will hit.
All right.
And it hits you right in your leg. Like as you're like just dragging them along, you just feel hit right at your shin. And this would be for 7 damage, reduced by your armor of 4, meaning you lose 3 hit points.
Okay.
And with that, it is now time for Chanel.
Oh, the one does take the Molotov damage.
You're
yeah.
right. Let me go ahead and roll that persistent damage. Unless, Chanel, would you like to roll the persistent damage?
I would love to.
Go right ahead. 3d6 for me, please.
Two.
All right. With the explosions, that one is just firing away, and then it just sort of slumps over in the snow, just continuing to cook, basically. Meaning that there is currently only 1 lobotomite.
Awesome. I whip another Molotov cocktail at it.
Great.
Fair enough. Yeah. Would you like to use a minor action to aim so that way you can re-roll one of your dice?
Yes, please.
Noted. And you can re-roll the 16 because you aimed. For free.
That is still one success.
That will be enough to deal still some damage, because the standard for explosives is that you need to get 2 successes because it's a blast weapon to hit everything. So if you with the 1 success, I will say that you can still deal half damage. So go ahead and roll the 2d6 if you would please.
Two damage.
That is actually a grand total of 4, since 2s count as 2 hits as well.
4 damage.
4 damage, and because you rolled an effect, the next turn, if he's still alive, he will take another 2 dice of damage. Iris.
Well, it's a big if on if he's going to be alive or not.
It is a big if, but before you make sure that he's not, I would like you to please roll me perception and survival.
All right. I got 1.
Alrighty. Something's off. It doesn't feel right to be ambushed by lobotomites. They don't have any real thought in their head. They don't have planning. So either someone's giving them much more direct controls from wherever these come from, or something else is going on. Someone else is giving orders. You scan around, but you don't see anything. You just sort of feel uneasy. But for right now, there is one more lobotomite that is currently raining fire down upon your good doctor.
Yeah. Oh, and this he hit the doctor. Yeah, I'm gonna take the difficulty penalty and aim for the head.
Okay.
I will aim. See what we got.
Time to use those action points.
I'm gonna re-roll that 14.
Okay.
That's 2.
All right. Would you like to use up to 3 action points for extra damage?
You have 4 action points right now?
Yes. Well, 5 now that you got the 2 successes.
Well, I needed 2 to hit him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So yeah. You do currently have 4.
I will take 1.
Okay. So an
Get me
extra
up.
die of damage.
Get me up to a nice 10 dice of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
8.
6, 7. Yeah, 7 to the head, ignoring 4 armor if he has any.
He had some,
Well,
but it isn't stopping him from getting hit. What would be his brains blown out, but it's basically this all circuitry and sparks as he falls over dead. And you all are out of initiative once again.
Iris does call out. Something's not right.
Yeah, they don't ambush.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if there's anything close, but something made them do this.
Yeah, Carter's gonna go investigate the bodies and see if there is anyone that still has an intact head.
Okay.
The one I shot, though.
Yeah, the one.
The first one.
First one, yeah. As you are looking at the bodies, Carter, first off, please go ahead and give me a roll of perception and survival.
Radio.
And then Dr. Hoffman, your patient is looking at you, eyes blurry from tears from the pain that they've been put through, but looking a little more at peace.
I got a complication and did not succeed.
no.
Unfortunate. We'll get to that in a moment.
Oh no, I have dropped his head.
Whoops.
Hey, he's good with guns, not heads.
It's true.
Yeah, you leave the heads to me.
Working on the patient continuing, and he's just going to start saying, "It's all right. I got you. I got you. Don't worry."
They said you'd be coming.
Oh, wunderbar. They know about us.
They gave a message. Which
You can give us the message once you are finished healing. Now.
No. Which is Iris?
Iris?
Have them relay the message to you first.
We know 1RI5 coming. And then you all hear 2 shots from a weapon most of you don't recognize. Dr. Hoffman and Iris, however, do recognize these weapons. They're very highly technological weapons called Gauss rifles.
Yay!
The first shot hits the temple of your patient, Dr. Hoffman, and she slumps over with her eyes looking into the void. The second shot will hit the target that is currently up on the ridge looking at the lobotomites and knocks him back off of the ridge and down into the snowbanks below. How much armor do you have, Carter?
3 everywhere. Technically, I've got it on my head too, even though I'm not currently wearing my hat. Carter is wearing his hat, so 3 everywhere.
Of course. Thankfully, they didn't go for your head. They apparently were sending a message by going for your center mass. You will take, first off, 5 points of damage, including the armor penetration, to your chest, and then you'll take another 3 from the fall.
Can I make an athletics roll to lessen the fall damage?
Absolutely. Please go ahead and give me a roll of agility and athletics.
That I am very good at, so yes. That would be 1 success.
With that 1 success, you're able to lessen it to being 2 damage from the fall. You don't roll anything or like sprain anything, but you do just feel, just like hit the ground hard and just feel the wind get knocked out of you. Pretty much.
You good, Carter?
No!
It sucks. I'll help you up.
You go over there and you help him up, and you see that there was actually something that got through the fairly well-made armor of his tailored suit. It looks like it just punched through it without much issue and just went all the way through and hit him with enough force to knock him off of the ridge.
Yeah, that was half of his hit points.
Yeah, we probably didn't even hear a gunshot or anything because it was a Gauss gun.
I think you'd hear the sonic boom of the projectile moving.
Yeah, for that.
Yeah.
Wow. The fuck hit you? That ain't good. Maisie.
Yeah, Iris is immediately looking in the rough direction those shots came from.
It looks like they actually came from like 2 separate points. One came from like almost back in the direction where you came from, and another came from up on the like further along the same direction as the ridge to your left.
Okay, she'll look down the ridge for that one.
You're able to look through your scope, and you see that there is a rather gangly looking, tall, way too thin looking man with pale skin, wearing a set of dark aviators, and is currently shouldering a Gauss rifle and moving into the snowdrift as you just see him almost the snow almost cover him, and he just seems to fade out, to disappear bit by bit as he moves. You had heard, well, before you left, that the Institute were working on something akin to a more long-lasting or more accurate stealth boy, and it seems like they might have at least made prototypes that would be repeated use as opposed to one and done. And this was a figure in black.
Yeah, Iris will try and check the other direction just to make sure that the other one is gone.
She is not. You see a very beautiful woman, long black hair, and a playful, cruel smile on her face as she just gives a little finger wave and fades away with the activation of the stealth unit.
Iris,
Yeah.
what the fuck was that?
Coursers. Well, I think.
What the fuck's a courser?
Synths that are built and designed to hunt people like me, the ones that go rogue.
So why are they fucking off?
I don't know. I think one of them thinks this is some kind of fucking game. I think they want to give me a chance to fight them.
Weirdos?
Yeah.
You killed my patient.
Yeah.
Do you have a Band-Aid?
I think you need more than a band-aid.
Profusely leaking.
Oh,
Having a
fuck.
hole through his chest.
I meant to help you up.
Kicking in. Probably limping at this time because he's got shrapnel in his ass and he's got a bum leg now too because he's been shot there.
Oh, jeez.
Carter, you take another point of damage as you're bleeding.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You
All
did
right,
take-
all right. Okay, all right. Chanel's gonna bridal carry Carter to the truck.
Wee!
Easily done. Dr. Hoffman, would you like to go ahead and see to your patient?
Yes, the now only living one of the patients there.
Go ahead and give me intelligence and medicine again. And I'm guessing you're focusing on dealing with the injury as opposed to just healing wounds.
Yes, this is fully just dealing with the injury, making sure that it is no longer bleeding, and then we'll do healing afterwards.
Got it.
If you'd like, I can roll that again for the healing afterwards, but that's up to you.
You can go ahead and do that again, but it will be the one time that you're able to patch him up with just healing afterwards. You'll either need bed rest or you'll need to either give him food, drink, or stim packs.
Fair.
So that stopped the bleeding, and
3 successes, 1 critical.
that means that
Wow.
you will heal him for, I believe it's a number of successes plus your ranks in medicine. So 3 plus.
So 3 plus 5 plus 2 more because I've got a first aid kit. So
All right,
7.
So 3 plus 5 plus 2 more. So that's actually 10.
Oh, actually 10. Yeah, I'm just dumb. Never mind.
Totally healed.
It's like magic.
Hyper science.
Iris is gonna go check the person that got shot. Curious if this is just a person or if this is another synth.
You move closer to them and you check them over. You know what to look for. You know especially where to look for it. And as you reach into their head where the round exited, you pull out the component that you know means that this was in fact a synth. This was maybe another one like you that got away. Maybe it was someone that they literally built just for this purpose. But whatever they are, whoever they are, they were made like you were in the Institute.
Iris just kind of takes the chip and pockets it.
Alrighty.
All right, now Carter, no laughing. Breathe easy. In your mouth, out your nose. No sudden movements. Maybe open up again.
Would it be too bad for a joke right now?
Yeah, we need to leave here now.
All right.
In case they get tired of waiting.
Okay. Everybody back in the truck. We can play doctor while we're moving.
Victor just skis over to Chanel. I'll take that joke, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Hey, where did the dog go when he lost his tail?
What's that?
The retail store.
Ah. And you just hear coming from his speaker just like canned audience laughter.
You're like a laugh track.
Exactly.
That is fantastic. A robot with a laugh track. I love it.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. Literally.
You pile back in and make the rest of the trek. It's much quieter, thankfully. You pass by what used to be, I believe it was Ranger Station Charlie, where the Rangers of the NCR used to be largely picked over now. There were a few people who tried to make this place basically like a little rest stop on the way between Lilly-Belle and Novak, but they left since basically everything began getting buried in snow. And after a while, you make your way along and you see the telltale giant dinosaur that sits outside of Novak. As you pull up closer, you can see the sign that says the name of the city. And for those of you who know about pre-war, can see that it is a no vacancy sign that has since lost many of the letters, leaving only the name of this little establishment. There are a few people at the gate. One individual who is darker skin tone, wearing very well kept and well reinforced leather armor, as well as a bright red beret that has the sign of the bear for the NCR with a medallion on it. Chanel, you know this to be Manny Vargas. He just looks up to you and says, "Hey, Chanel."
Hi, Manny. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Weird seeing you back so soon. What's up?
Well,
And then the robot just like skis around and he's like, "Oh shit." Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
You all need a place to stay for the night?
If you wouldn't mind doing me a favor.
I mean, hey, it's me, it's basically just me and Briscoe here, just taking care of things. Ever since, well, Jeannie Mae decided to show who she really was. Fuck her. And he just like spits because you know that the last person who ran this place sold people to Legion's slavers.
May she rot in hell.
Exactly. But yeah, we got rooms enough for all of you if you want your own room. Don't really have a place to put the truck, though. If you take it a little bit further north, you can probably leave it with the old lady that runs the junk shop.
She's still there?
Yeah, she's still kicking with her dogs. I swear they pull her along on a sled now.
Hey, you know, I was thinking about making something like that back at home.
It's a really good idea. It's just that now she's just basically sitting around and bundled up in the sled all damn day. She doesn't even move herself. It's just the dogs.
Hey, you know, why do the work when you've got good boys and good girls that can do it for you?
It's fair enough, I guess.
That is a good idea. I might see what she's got for spare parts anyway. Manny, thank you. You know, it's always appreciated.
Hey, anytime.
And I owe you a favor. So.
Hey, I'm gonna hold you to it one of these days.
Yeah, well, you gotta find me first.
Yeah, you keep coming around here.
Yeah, I like the company.
Hey, Chanel, you mind if I borrow those binoculars and keep an eye on the place for the night?
She'll hand over the night vision goggles. Have at it, my friend. Now, if you lovely don't mind, I've got an old lady to barter with. Mama needs parts.
Hey, fair enough. If you're going to be keeping watch, you could join me up at the top of the dinosaur. Best view of the surrounding area.
I mean, I'm happy to join you, or feel free to take the night. I imagine you spend a lot of time up there, yeah?
Yeah, I used to have a partner, but he decided to pack up his shit and go adventuring. Asshole, leave me on 24-hour fucking shifts.
Yeah, I can take tonight.
I'd really appreciate it, thank you. And he just like takes off his beret and just wipes through his head, and you can see that on the beret the medallion says the last thing you never see, which was the insignia of the NCR recon snipers. And then he just puts it back on and says, well, in that case, I am going to get fucking wasted. And he just leaves and goes back to his little bungalow. You can just talk to Cliff in the shop in the dinosaur. He's got the keys for you.
All right.
Cool. And then he just like immediately takes out a flask from his little hip pouch as he enters the bungalow and just immediately starts knocking it all back.
That man is going to be the death of himself.
I think you're right, Doctor. I think you're right.
I mean, better way to go out in some ways, considering.
True.
So,
Right. Let's get you into one of the rooms, Carter.
Yes, I think I will lay down for as long as it is possible to do so.
I need to get some shrapnel out of my ass.
meanwhile, over at the junk shop, Chanel, you are greeted by a large pack of good boys and good girls, all just surrounding you and barking, jumping up to get scritches and licks at your face.
Oh, well, aren't you all just so cute? And she's gonna look around, make that Maisie's not directly watching her, and she's gonna reach out of her pocket and take like a tiny little treat and kind of like split it up and amongst the dogs.
The moment you do so, you look back and you realize that Maisie is giving you the most bombastic of side eye.
And then she'll take a full one out for Maisie.
And she is continuing to give you the side eye even as she eats it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're fine. It's okay. All right, little pups. Where's Mama?
You hear a sled hitting over like concrete as she says, "Hey, I'm here. I'm not deaf." And old lady Gibson is currently just bundled up in so many cobbled together blankets as she is just being carried along on the sled with a couple of her older hounds.
Good to see you, Miss Gibson. Do you mind if I take a look around?
Sure, you've always been a good customer to me, Chanel. So yeah, you just go ahead and you just take a look around. If you need anything, just let me know.
Thank you, ma'am. I always appreciate it. And she's going to poke around to see if she can find any car parts or any parts that she can use to tinker with.
Any particular tinkering in mind, or?
I've got an axe that is also a laser that I'd like to play with and see what I can do to create another more permanent heat source. So really anything that I could find that might be able to help out with that.
All right. You find a few little parts here and there, some car parts, something that could be used to help like fix up a bumper or to maybe even help with repairs to an axle that might get twisted. You do find something that seems interesting. It looks like there are a few old parts that came from the nearby Repcon facility that looks like it could be used to, if you gave it a new power source, it'd almost be used, what would be a thruster could be used to basically be a much lower scale heating source, or like a almost like a oven, or like almost like a more condensed fire pit.
She's gonna take that out and turn to look at old lady Gibson. How much?
For those parts? Well, I got a few people coming around constantly asking for stuff like that, trying to make anything that'll give off heat nowadays. I'll give it for 100 caps.
Mm-hmm. How about 30 and some food?
What kind of food?
I got canned meat, canned vegetables, and I got a canned dog food with your name on it. If you're willing to barter.
Go ahead and give me charisma and barter roll, please.
I also have the femme fatale, so I get a free reroll on charisma checks.
That's correct.
Not needed, both successes.
Fantastic. And I believe that one of them is actually a tag. I believe barter is a tag skill for you.
It is.
All right, so that is 3 successes. She thinks for a second and just sort of like rubs out her chin. Yeah. Go ahead and throw in that dog food and a can of meat and vegetables, and you got yourself a deal.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And she'll give the cans, and then she'll hand her another small baggie with more of those like tiny little treats in them.
Oh. I was actually running out of these. Thank you so much. No.
Yeah, you know how I feel about the dogs. Whatever I can do to help them. Just don't tell Maisie.
Never.
She's been territorial recently. I don't know what it's been, but I think it's just the cold.
I think it's the cold, and she's getting older. She's getting more spunky.
Oh boy. She's already got enough personality for the two of us. I'll be completely honest. I think that the recent activity has put a little bit of a snap in her step. But you take care of these dogs and you take care of yourself, all right? You stay as warm as possible, ma'am.
Of course.
Good. You have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening, and thank you again for the and she'll tap on the heating device.
Of course. You take care now, okay?
And she'll with a hop, skip, and a step, she's going to make her way back towards the bungalows.
Alrighty. You all make your way into the bungalows. How are you handling sleeping arrangements? Is everyone getting their own bungalow, or like the guys sleeping together and gals sleeping in another one? The bungalows do have 2 beds to each of them.
I'd imagine guys and gals is probably fine.
Yeah, it seems reasonable.
Iris is spending all night up in the dinosaurs, so.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Guys, gals, dinosaurs.
The 3 genders.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I would like a roll of perception and survival from everyone.
How many action points do we have now?
A lot.
I would like to spend one for an extra die.
There are 3 in the pool if anyone would like to use one to get another die.
I got a critical success.
Fantastic.
I will spend one for an extra die.
I'm going to leave them alone.
Yeah.
2 successes.
1 success.
Alrighty.
Do I get any bonus from having Night Vision Goggle?
I will say that will allow you 1 free reroll.
Yeah, I will reroll that. I got 3 successes.
Alrighty. So, first off, Dr. Hoffman, you are checking out the bungalow, just, making sure that it's secure, especially given what just happened. One thing you do notice is that apparently people have not making use of the little first aid kit that's inside of the bathroom, and there is a stim pack as well as a dosage of antibiotics inside of there.
Wunderbar.
Carter, you're also just checking around and just trying to relax a little bit, but you also just want to make sure that there's nothing waiting for you, so you even go as far as checking under the bed, and you see that there is a shoebox.
What's in the box?
You open up the box, and there is a very weird looking, it almost looks like a revolver, but it looks funkier than that. It's very short, but it looks like it's been blue. Yeah, the steel's been blued to the point it's black, with a very oddly, almost brightly orange, almost plasticky feeling grip. And when you hit the little release that would normally let the cylinder roll out, it comes out and then extends even further to the point where the cylinder is more open, and you notice that there are 5 rounds in it because there was only room for 5 rounds, but when you pull it out, it's 5.56 ammunition.
Okay, that's interesting.
And in the box, there is also a small, a smaller ammo box that has another 10 rounds of 5.56 ammo. And it's just a weird gun.
Does it look like it's been under there for a while, like a dust line around it?
It looks like it's been under there enough to get a dust line, but not like an extensively thick layer.
Yeah, like a couple of years maybe, rather than 50.
Maybe if so much as a few months.
Okay. Scooch, 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 scooch. He'll leave it.
No.
He'll pull it out and he'll leave it in public view, and remind himself to ask about it later.
Fair enough. Chanel, as you are looking around, you just settle in and you feel something like crinkle behind your head, like against the pillow. You reach behind and pull out what looks to be a magazine. It is a copy of the Daring Adventures, specifically one fighting the horrible automatrons.
I'm gonna read it.
All right. You read it, and for the next session, you will have an extra die of damage against all attacks against robots.
Yep.
And of course, should the next time you level up, you decide to use your perk point, you can use it to make sure that that bonus is permanent, as opposed to only for one session. Iris, you are up top in the dinosaur. The wind is blowing up here. It's chilly and biting, but you're focused. You know that you are being hunted. And it's not just something for serving what the Institute wants. It is sport. This is new. This is a sort of personal thing. You've known coursers to be, some of them have a thrill of the hunt kind of thing, but they were still very like focused, very business about it. This is different. You haven't been home in a long time. So something's changed. And as you're looking out with your scope, you can see in the very far distance, heading north in the direction of Boulder City, there is one figure looking back at you. Dressed all very muscular, almost to the point of being kind of bulky. And then two other figures deactivate their stealth units beside him before he puts his own binoculars down, and then all three of them reactivate their stealth units. And that is where we're going to end for the evening.